Why is this not centered? There we go. Hi there. Finally. Today we are back with a very special topic that I really wanted to share to the world, and this is about the reason why you procrastinate, and understanding that reason will make you achieve your goals quicker and faster. You guys, you have no idea. Okay, first point, the real reason why you procrastinate is because you think you have time. Isn't that a light bulb moment? Let me repeat. The reason why you procrastinate is because you think you have time. Okay? You think you can do it later, tomorrow, Monday, Thursday, Friday, next week, next month, next 2 months, next 3 months, until you realize you are running out of time. This behavior will actually, make you study less. And because you are studying less, you are preparing less. And that will show that you are committing less. When your commitment is less, you work less, your result will be less as well. Faith without work is dead, my friend. And that will eventually make you panic because you realize you don't have enough time. And the deadline is coming, and then you started stressing and panicking, and then you started doing things at a very how should I say that? Jeez, my English. You do things, you pour out things last minute, and then you pray harder that God will give you a miracle to achieve what you want. Isn't that ironic, folks? Isn't that ironic? The problem here is you are not lazy. Dude, you are not lazy. Your perspective of time is just very poor. You think you have enough time, and so you just wanted to delay things, but dude, you don't. Okay, if you only realize the value of time, and that's the moment you think, I needed to do it now. I've got my notes, by the way. Hope you don't mind that I'm looking down, because I've got my paper here. Here's my paper. I just clipped it on my my light stand. My throat is so dry in the past days. Anyway, my second point is, how does procrastination affects your result? As I was saying earlier, your understanding and perspective affects your behavior. If you don't really understand the perspective of time, you don't really value time as much. Isn't that ringing a bell? Say, for example, if you really wanted this girl, if a person wants you so badly, they will spend so much time replying to your messages, or they will ask you out for a date because they're desperate to see you. Why? Because they see you valuable. Do you see time as valuable? Do you see time as important? Because otherwise you will just keep being lazy, and you will just keep doing less work. You ended up delaying doing it and avoiding the pressure and the hard work because you always think, I can do it next time. What's my point here? Yeah, so my point is, the quicker you do things, consistently in a period of time, the quicker you get the result. Isn't that amazing? When you just change your perspective, you actually save a lot of resources. Why? Because it saves you time and effort. It makes you less stressed. You can do a lot of things. It makes you more productive. It saves you more money. Especially if you're doing things or chasing things that will give you a better future. And I wrote here that success requires urgent actions, my friend. Let me say that again. Success requires urgent action. And I've got some friends who usually ask me, like, how did you manage to achieve your goals on your own? And you know, my answer was, I wasn't born like this, but through experience and a lot of failures, a lot of pain and heartache, I realized that the quicker you do things, the quicker it gets you moving to your success in life. Like, I decide quickly. When I decide quickly, I do it straight away. I don't procrastinate. Why? Because time matters to me. And I think that's the difference between my old self and my new self. The moment you understood that time is valuable and limited, and that any time you will die sooner, that's probably harsh, that any time you can be just, gone in thin air, you realize that you don't have enough time. I think when you have that perspective, you will eventually change your behavior, and your behavior defines your actions, and your actions actually will lead you to achieving more results. My throat is dry again. Okay. Enough advertisement. My third and last point, I wanted to share to you my story. Of course, story time. We always wanted to share our story, because why not? We are human, we are learning, we go through shit in life. But you know what? This is why I love, and I am being committed with making YouTube, because I know that we need perspective, and ideas is very important. Knowledge, my friend, is very important. And some knowledge are shared. And if you don't share the knowledge, you don't usually enlighten the people around you. And yeah, like I wanted to enlighten people. Anyway, my story, going back to my story. So I came here in Australia being as a nurse for like 15 years. I've been a registered nurse since 2010 in my home country, the Philippines, and then I went to the Middle East, worked there for 5 years, and then came here in Australia. My visa here was student visa, and it was expiring 2026 this year. I am sharing of the experience I had last year, 2025. Okay. So the goal is to get the permanent residency this year, because my visa is expiring this year and I don't have any choice. So in order for me to get my residency, I need higher points for the migration PR 189 visa. Mind you, my points that time was around 75, and I wanted to increase it to 80 for me to have a better chances of receiving the invitation, which was usually scheduled every August of 2025, or every August of the year. So the timeline was last year, January, I was feeling a little bit desperate with taking my English exam, and I wanted to achieve the superior score, because when you achieve the superior score, you get 5 more points. If I have 5 more points, I essentially increase my points for the migration application, which was 75 to 80. Okay, I booked the test January 2025, study a little, hoping things will work. I failed. Okay, we're not giving up because we have goals. So I booked the test again. I did the same thing. I was like, okay, we're not giving up. This is, this is the only way to get the points that we wanted, and we're not stopping. Like, we just keep on moving. Failure is part of the story. Okay, but I failed February. This time my spirit started crashing, because I know failing is good for you, but when you are through into the process, you feel like crap, dude. Like, it makes you feel less valuable. It makes you feel less confident. It makes you feel dumb. Like, am I this dumb? Why am I failing? And so, because the desperate me wanted to stay in Australia, I booked this same exam again for the third time. And guess what? March 2025, I failed again 3 times. It was painful. And I can still remember the pain of failing every time I booked the exam. It wasn't a good, it wasn't, I don't know, it's a crappy situation. Mind you, the exam cost me nearly $500. I needed to pay for my online review less than $100. I think that was $60 a month, or probably $100. I couldn't really remember. Plus the time and effort of studying. The effort, dude. Do you know how hard it is to study for an exam? Considering you're also studying at school, considering you're also working for a job as a nurse. After feeling so devastated, so upset with myself, and so frustrated, one day I sat in front of my laptop. I've got my pen and paper. I just sat there and I was just lingering around my crappy emotions of failing. While I was sitting there, I had a light bulb moment. And that moment made me realize that the reason why I keep on failing is because I think I have enough time. I was like, my visa will expire next year. I still have enough time to get my residency. But then when I started holding my pen and starting to plot out the timeline I have left, I realized I actually don't have enough time. That was already, I think, March 31, 2005. The invitation round is August, and then it usually takes around 4 or 5 months after you get invited for you to get the residency. I started panicking. It felt like my entire sacrifice coming here and my entire dreams started crumbling. My spirit was crushed like into pieces, and I was like, I have no choice but to give my 100%. because my entire life depends on my commitment. For the fourth time, I booked the exam again. And this time, I was like, okay, I needed to do something different. What was the behavior I was having before that made me lose my chance of getting the superior score? And I was like, okay, I realized that I was actually just studying less, like probably just 2 hours per week. And I did some mock tests for that exam probably just once or twice, and I thought that was enough. And so for the fourth time, I was so committed that I actually wrote down my schedule 3 weeks before my exam. I wrote there I needed to do the mock test exam. Mind you, the mock tests actually last for like 2 hours. Dude, it's hard. 2 hours. After working as a nurse, I'm already tired. I've got assessments to do at school, and I still need to spare 2 more hours. And not just 2 more hours. I have to do it 2 hours 4 times a week for 3 weeks before my exam. Do you know how painful that was? I was actually I felt numb. I felt like a zombie. But I have no choice, because the only person who can help me is me. The only person who can change my situation is me. I can't just ask somebody to take the exam for me. No, it's not possible. I need to commit 100% or go home and be miserable. And tell you, I needed to buy chips, chocolates, sodas in order for me to just keep myself awake. Because after working as a nurse, you're already so tired, yeah? Like if you're a nurse, you're watching this, you know you get so tired and you get overstimulated at work and you just want to rest at home. But because I was so desperate, I am committed and I've got goals to achieve, I can't rest because I needed to get that superior score. And I needed to do my very best in order for my mind and my spirit and my body to stay awake. Every 8 to 10 p.m., 4 times a week for 3 weeks, I have dedicated to sit in front of my laptop and do the mock test, my reading, listening, speaking, and writing, all those all those sub-tests I needed to endure. Do you know how hard it is to sit there for 2 hours having to answer everything? It's devastating. It's not a good feeling. It's painful. And I tell you, during the first week of having to go through that type of commitment, it made me feel like shit. Excuse my word. I felt crap. Why? Because I have been doing a lot of work and still my scores on the mock test are still the same. In fact, they gone lower. And I thought I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought when I'll put more effort, I'll get more results, but it's not. I'm not seeing any result during the first week of being so committed. But I was like, okay, take a deep breath, Rosie, take a deep breath. You can do this. Faith without work is dead. The more work you give, the more results, because it's always a compounding effect. It's always a compounding effect, my friend. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna close my eyes and not look at my results, or if I look at my results, I shouldn't be taking it too personally, because I'm still learning, and I needed this. I needed to tell myself that I am failing, and that I needed to work hard, and that I needed to do more mock tests for me to increase my scores. I have a good news. During my second week of being so committed, I actually was seeing progress with my scores. And suddenly life feels a little bit better. And suddenly my stress in my brain cells started to drift away. I suddenly feel a little bit of hope. And I was like, wow, this is actually working. In between those days that I was studying, I was saying no to people's invitation to go out. Why? Because I realized that I have no time, and that the time I have left is very valuable, that I needed to use that time for two things that would make me achieve my goals. On the third week, guys, dude, I was smashing everything. Like, I don't know how to describe this. On my online review in the mock test, I can actually see the bar graph of my scores. And it was for the very first time I was seeing a consistent progress of my scores. And because of that pain, while being dedicated, while being consistent of doing the things that I really don't like to do, but I don't have a choice because I don't have enough time, I was able to build my endurance with that very hard exam. And when I was finally about to take my exam, my fourth attempt for that exam, I was saying to myself, this will be your last exam. No more fifth, no more sixth, no more later. No, this will be your last. You have to pour everything. Because why? Your life next year in Australia depends on your effort. Mind you, when I walked into the testing area for the very first time, I felt so confident. Why? Because I poured out everything. I have studied so much. I've mastered the questions. And at first, I really don't know that in order for me to master everything, you have to spend more time and be consistent doing the hard things. I got the superior score that I wanted, by the way. That was, I think, late May 2025, because I was dedicating a month of review for my fourth attempt. That was May 2025. I got my superior score. June, I have updated, yay, my points on the Australian immigration website. From 75, I finally got 80. That was June, July, August. You guys, I received the invitation for my permanent residency. October 2025, I paid nearly $5,000 to lodge my application. That was October. October, I think that was 28, I did my medical test. November, December, January, February, March, April 2026, I received my permanent residency here in Australia. This is the reason why I wanted to tell you and share to the world. If only I can enlighten one person, for them to achieve what they're pursuing in their life, then that would, make me feel better. That would make me feel that I'm giving an impact to the people who is watching this, because I did it. Why can't you? Stop procrastinating. Okay, change your perspective. You don't have enough time. Tomorrow is not insured. Like, you can die anytime. Live the life that you want. I'm receiving an email. Sorry. Live the life that you want, okay? When you get that perspective and understanding, I need you to sit down after this video. I need you to spend time to yourself and think about what are the ways that you needed to change? What are the strategies? What's the system that you needed to build in order for you to get what you want, in order for you to have the life that you want, because you don't have enough time. You think you do, but you are actually running out of time. Wow, it feels powerful to say this in front to you. I was very emotional going through that process. It was hard, and mind you, I nearly gave up. I was so devastated, frustrated, I lost hope. I even actually struggled so much mentally because of that. But hey, I did it, and you can too. Okay, stop procrastinating. Build the life that you want, because nobody will build it for you. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much. If you like this video, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, comment, tell me your story. I want to hear it. Promise you I will reply. And thank you so much. All the best. Okay, and take care of yourself until the next video. Mwah.